Hey yo, what's going down? I'm OD and this is Slump Sessions, the show that is the culture. This episode is brought to you by fishscale84.com. Head over to fishscale84.com and get you some clothes. And also it is brought to you by Reneka App Builders. Head over to Reneka App Builders, copy an app, get your website, step your app game up. We have the one, the only, Sugar Joiko.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm glad you were able to make it out here today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So I kind of want to start it out with letting everybody know who is Sugar Joiko.
All right. I'm a Houston-based singer-songwriter, pop artist, producer, multi-musician, and just trying to make feel-good music for the people.
Feel good music.
Feel good. Yeah, just music to make you feel good.
So where are you from?
Originally New Orleans, Louisiana.
Okay.
And I moved to Katrina. I moved to Houston after Katrina, and this has been my home ever since.
So it was actually Katrina that brought you over here. How was that, experience going through,
I mean, shit got real. Basically, I mean, our home was okay. I was actually just wrapping up high school at the time. So when I moved to Houston, I was admitted into U of H. They took us in like a month later.
Okay.
And then I lived here about a year in the Humble area. And then about a year later, my family moved here. We left before the storm, but, it was pretty crazy kind of being hotel from hotel for like 3 or 4 weeks. And, so then we kind of all made the move. Well, my mother and my siblings. And we've been here ever since.
So Houston is pretty much your home now. I mean,
yes, it is my home.
Yeah.
It is my home, but I'm like a Houstonian, so I still claim my home roots.
Yeah. So growing up in New Orleans, were you making music, before then? Or
definitely. I've kind of been composing music since I was probably 13 years old. That's just kind of been my thing. And I was also a musician. I basically performed in churches. I was a minister of music for about 15 years. And that was my main source of income. I also went to NOCA on Saturdays, which is New Orleans Center of Creative Arts. So it's kind of like a magnet school that I go to on Saturdays for jazz piano. So, I've pretty much been playing music since I was probably 8 or 9 years old with a piano. Yeah. So I've been playing the piano almost maybe 20 years now.
Wow.
But yeah, answer is yes.
Did you grow up in a musical household, or how did you actually get into instruments and playing music?
I mean, it kind of chose me, to be honest. My grandmother had she owned a couple of daycare centers, and there was an old rundown piano in one of them, and I just kind of went up to it and started playing. And I just remember playing stuff that made sense, and then that's what encouraged them to put me in piano lessons and different things like that. My mom can sing, my grandmother can sing, but no one was none of them were performers, I guess you could say. So I think that musically inclined relatives run in my family, but not everyone really made it a career choice. I could say that.
Okay. Yeah. Growing up in New Orleans, how did the city kind of, affect or influence you as a person, as as a musician and as a person you are today?
I mean, everything about it influences me. I mean, it's a city of music. It's a city of a melting pot of culture. And we loved all kinds of music, actually. Of course, jazz is huge there, second line music, but we also really enjoyed reggae or Caribbean music. I've always been kind of exposed to different genres of music, and that completely, I think, has a lot of impact on who I am as an artist today. Because still today, I think my music it's kind of an infusion of different genres, even cultures from around the world. So kind of being brought up in an atmosphere where, all those things were kind of just thrown or available to hear anywhere you went would 100% have an impact on who I am today as an artist.
How was moving to Houston and, the Houston culture kind of grown you as an artist since you were there?
Well, I think Houston grown me because Houston, for me, people more about the business here. Like, I feel like I actually got more exposed to like the business aspect of music, or how to like hustle and grind and get yourself out there. Not saying that doesn't exist in New Orleans, but there, like, a lot of people are more inclined to kind of like play for fun and stuff like that. But in Houston, it's kind of like, nah, if you're gonna make this your thing, you need to, like, you know, keep the lights on and get yourself out there, network. And here I feel like people, I won't say that they dream bigger, but, you know, it being more corporate, I guess, run, I feel like, you know, it's a little bit more of the business side driven, I guess you could say.
Okay.
That gutter hustle.
So a lot of people might not know, but you did spend some time in Japan, is that right?
Oh yeah, I love Japan.
How was it, you know, being out there?
Definitely influenced. I love everything about Japan. I've been there, I think about 5 times. And I've also performed on TV there too.
Oh, wow.
Like singing in Japanese. So that used to be my thing. I wanted to be like a J-pop star. And I really got into the Japanese culture because I'm a gamer. So I enjoyed playing video games. And honestly, video game music is what kind of got me into producing. I'm 100% a musician first. Yeah. Singer second. Like, I actually didn't start singing until maybe I was like 18, 19 years old.
Okay, so that's whenever you kind of found your voice. And
yeah, I used to be extremely shy. You could not get me on stage to sing at all. Like, I was fine in the back playing keys or singing background vocals. Like, I was cool with that, you know. But as you said, yeah, I've kind of found my voice. Honestly, the dueling piano bar industry is what brought that out. Okay. Yeah, I kind of got hired there, and then, I don't know, from there it's kind of like, no, this is where you're supposed to be.
For those who don't know what that is, what is
dueling pianos? Yeah. It's something that I had no idea what it was. I actually got that job drunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We were hanging out, and my friends paid money for me to get on piano, and I played a few songs. I don't even remember being there, but the manager gave my friend his card and was like, "Call me," and that's how I got the job. But basically, it's kind of like you have 2 pianos in the center of the bar, and the audience requests songs that they want to hear, and we basically play it and sing it, like, right off the bat. So we can sing like country, rock, pop, rap, like, we do all genres. So we're like walking jukeboxes. And so that industry, as an artist, I think it completely molded me because it taught me how to control an audience. It taught me how to really put myself out there, and it taught me how to, you know, entertain people. Like, more than anything, we're entertainers over musicians, although it's around music. But we're 100% entertaining, cracking jokes, calling people on stage, like writing parodies to songs for their birthdays. Or, you know, I don't know, like, well, we're not going to get too much into adult humor, but it's kind of adult humor. So it's really fun how we throw shade and, you know, poke fun at customers, and they really enjoy it.
That seems to would be a lot of improv.
Very improv.
Has that, like, really grown you to just with the ability to play something on the fly, or?
Playing on the fly, that's always what I've done. Like, since I was little, I've always had like a really strong ear. So since I was a little girl, if I hear it one time, I can just play it. So the concept of just kind of playing it right away was already more so instilled in me. But as far as that industry affecting me as an artist, I think it helps with my showmanship on stage, for sure. Yeah.
So back to Japan a little bit. How did you actually get your name of Sugar Joiko?
So my name's Joy. Okay. And my friends will call me like Joiko in Japan. And I think this is the correct concept, but like how you have like Lito or Lita in Spanish. So it's, I don't know, like if you would say like Joy Lita, it means like little cute Joy. Like that's kind of makes your name cute. That's the same concept with the ko on the end of names in Japanese. So they would call me Joiko. And then my friend was like, Sugar Joiko. And then my brother, D Killer, he was like, hey, man, that's kind of dope. You should make that your stage name. And then that's been my stage name since.
What did you go by before then? Was it just Joy?
It was just Joy. At that time, I wasn't even an artist. I was still discovering myself. At that time, I was solely a producer. Solely a producer at that time.
So what brought you out there to Japan? Was it just for visits or? Yeah,
visits, video games, pen pals still are like family today. Like back in the G, like when MySpace was the thing, I've met a few friends on there when it wasn't creepy to hit up strangers like, I love your culture, let's be friends. It was cool. So, and I traveled out there, and you know, their families like took me in, and I would spend time there, and some of them would come out to the States, and my family would host them as well. But for the most part, what brought me to Japan was the video game industry, anime.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a super nerd in a good way.
Yeah, that's good. What games in particular were you actually into?
I'm a PlayStation girl, so Final Fantasy for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've played them all from like 7 to probably not the most recent, but I'm a total diehard Final Fantasy girl. But of course, like Mario, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Sonic.
I remember growing up, and my brother would play a lot of Final Fantasy and stuff, and I would always listen to the music, and I wouldn't like quite understand it, but I knew there was something there about it that was actually very like
hands down.
Yeah, compelling. It was like it was weird.
The soundtrack on there like also like influenced me as a producer as well. Like the soundtracks on all the Final Fantasies, it's just amazing. It's just amazing work and music. Like I would literally just kind of sleep with the game on and just have the background music in the back. Like that's how much I really enjoyed the soundtracks. But yeah, that's dope.
So other than like the games and stuff, what kind of influence has the Japanese culture had on your sound and?
I guess a lot. I mean, still today, one thing I guess that frustrates me as, an African American pop artist is that, when people, see an African American person, period, they automatically assume, hip hop or R&B. And I 100% believe that Japanese culture has a lot to do with the type of pop that I make. Like the album that I'm working on now, it's kind of got more of a retro vibe to it. I've always enjoyed like very synthy type work. And a lot of my music is very synthy, so I definitely like synthesizer stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'd say that definitely influenced it, and that's how like my genre for sure is more worldly kind of pop rather than. Not saying I can't get gutter, you know what I mean, but that's my style for sure.
So whenever you were trying to take, starting to take the music seriously and stuff, what steps did you actually have to take to develop yourself as an artist?
Multiple. I think every year is a new development, to be completely honest with you. Like, I developed from musician to producer to musician singer to musician singer producer to, like, it's just kind of like the brand is continually to kind of evolve into this master plan, I guess. I'm not sure. Still pending. Still pending.
So for, people who might not know, you do play a lot of different instruments.
Yes.
You play, like 5 different instruments?
I play piano, I play bass, I play drums, drum set, clarinet. I can play sax a little bit. I can play harmonica. I can play guitar. What else? I can play marimba. I used to do 4 mallets marimba back in high school.
I can never get that. I tried, I tried whenever I was in band, and I can never get it.
Drum line?
Yeah.
Dope,
I tried. I attempted to be in the drum line.
Yeah.
I was a cymbal and a triangle guy.
Oh, okay. It's still important. You have a very important role. And when it's missed,
don't downplay the cymbals or the triangle.
No.
So, you started out playing piano first.
Yeah, piano's my primary.
Okay. And how did, you said you started just kind of, but before, did you have any idea that you can play anything?
Honestly, no. It was always just in my ear. It was something about when I played the piano for the first time, there was just something where I understood where notes were, and I understood that if these 2 notes played at the same time, this makes this noise or this complementary, notes together, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I think something that you play that's very interesting is the guitar.
Yeah, that's my jam.
And how did you pick up a guitar? Was it just straight off of the piano, or?
They were made available at the piano bars.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I started playing them more often. I've always been fascinated by them because, like I said, I really like synth stuff. I love 80s pop music. I love disco music, like anything that's synthy with a lot of strings and stuff. So that instrument has always been something that I've been just like about.
I think a lot of people, I don't ever see anybody really playing it much anymore.
No, it depends on how you deliver it. I mean, if you deliver it the wrong way, it can definitely be cheesy. But, I'm trying to pull off being a badass with it. But, yeah, definitely not a lot of people, definitely not a lot of girls.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of enhancement I'm doing, like a lot of practicing that I need to do with that. Like, it takes a lot of practice time to do a lot of things instrumentally. And there's still a lot that I need to learn about the instrument, but I'm enjoying it so far.
How often do you actually like practice, you know?
Free time.
Yeah.
Like now that I'm working on my next album, I've actually been. I think that sometimes the easiest way to practice is to just have a project. So in this next album, I'm actually using it to produce some of my work. So in doing so, that's kind of, you know, the more I'm familiar with the instrument, then it just kind of gets better. Now, all of my live shows, I'm always performing with it, so practicing for shows and different things like that. So just whenever I have free time, but I'm trying to find ways to utilize it more or make me practice, I guess.
So you had a show earlier this year that I actually went to, and you had a really good stage presence. And whenever you pulled it out, it was something, you know, eye-catching. It was something, you know, about it that you were playing it, and it was very eye-catching to the crowd. It was actually a really good show. You know, me and we went out there.
Appreciate it.
D. Keela invited us out. You know, I was like, you know, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It was
that was the House of Blues gig?
No, it was the Secret Room.
Yeah.
It was the Secret Room show.
Yeah.
I believe that's what it's
420.
called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Off of Polk.
I've never heard about that place before.
Yeah, you know, it kind of, they usually use it for comedy shows, but there's a few artists that do come to town that are artists that I know of, and they perform there. And I checked out the venue. Their acoustics are great. Like, there should
it was
be
a really
more
good
shows.
sound.
Yeah, there should be more shows there. Like, but, you know.
That's what I was looking at. I was watching the videos of the show, and it had a really good sound to the, you know, just you as a, like, the band. That I don't know if that's your normal band that you perform with all the time.
Usually. And
y'all seemed very, like, intertwined with how everything was supposed to be, and it was a good show.
Dope. I'm glad that translated.
So, you know, I want to kind of stem on to the other instruments you play. How hard was it picking up other stuff?
I don't think it's as difficult. Luckily, like, everything kind of falls on my ear. So sometimes it can be frustrating. Like, say, for instance, the bass. I can play bass, but there's certain things that I want to do that my fingers do not have, like, the muscle capability of doing. But it sucks because I can hear it and I can see what I want to do, but my hands won't move yet. So a lot of things, it's not that it was difficult for me to pick up. It's just that certain things, the human body, and then me being older picking it up, you have to kind of train your muscles to get, you know, acclimated to the instrument. But I think it's fairly simple for me to pick up many instruments. As long as I can hear where I'm going and the spacing between notes, I'm usually pretty good at figuring it out pretty quickly.
So you say you're a producer, writer, and performer and everything, and singer. What is your favorite part? Is it the producing part?
Yeah.
What is it about the actual production that you find
that's where
the best?
The production is my imagination. That's where my imagination runs rapid, and that's where my imagination can kind of just, you know, have free reign. You know, like, even in performing is fun, and I'm having, you know. But even with performing, I still have, you know, you have your butterflies on stage. You know, I have to remember my lyrics, or, you know, is the crowd feeling it? You're constantly checking on the room to make sure, like, they're with you, you know. But in the studio, when I'm producing, it's just me, my world, and I can just imagine whatever I want and just make it happen.
How is it, you know, having a concept in your mind and being able to put it out, you know, like the idea of, you know, how you want it to be arranged? What is it like, kind of being able to put it out there?
That's a hard question, actually. I mean, the only difficulty with it is that I'm such a perfectionist, and so the putting it out there part, sometimes I get frustrated that it takes me so long, but it's because, like, there'll be things that I'm sometimes just never satisfied.
Yeah.
So until I'm satisfied, then I can put things out. But I do know that my perfection can sometimes hold me back from, like, releasing things quicker. So I want to start releasing things quicker and more, you know, often, like at a, you know, consistent, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm pretty consistent, but I want to be more consistent with releasing things, and a lot of that falls into me, you know, wanting it to be perfect, which is kind of leading me to maybe, you know, consider the idea of working with other people. Because sometimes, even though I think I make great things, but, you know, sometimes things are only greater when you have multiple minds working together. So I do a lot of things myself.
Okay.
So now I'm kind of getting to a point where I should just open that door to find some other very creative people. So I'm on the lookout.
You're on the lookout.
Houston.
Anybody.
Houston. D Killer helps me with a lot. He actually helps me out with my songwriting. So
Okay.
I'm actually letting him hold the reins on this third album. So he and I will be working together on that for sure.
He's a very good,
Lyricist?
yes.
Yeah, he's dope. He's a poetic genius. He's dope. He's dope.
What is the process like whenever you're going in to create a new song? What is the process of actually laying it out?
Down?
Yeah.
Mine is a little different, I think. So me being more musical, I more so start with maybe like a sound or a melody, and then comes the beat, and then comes the lyrics. So I kind of start with the music, and honestly, the music kind of creates itself. Like oftentimes I'll just be like scrolling through the many sounds I have on my system, and then I'll just do something like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. That was dope, and then you just kind of, and then you build off of that, you know, and that's usually how a lot of my songs are made by mistake.
Really?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Is it just like late nights in there, just trying to come up with something?
More during the day. I work at night, during the day, but it works out for me, so I don't disturb the neighbors because they're all at work. So, but yeah, usually during the day, I just get me some hot tea or some coffee, and just kind of chill out in the studio, and so, like I like some things I create with a actual like game plan, but I feel that my most creative work has come by me just kind of by circumstance, coming up with something off the fly and then building around it.
What do you think of female producers like in the industry?
They need more of us, and we need to be more so brought out into the light. Like there's a lot of people that do produce, but you would never hear of them. I mean, if you think of producers, they're all men. I don't know any. Yeah. Only female producer anybody knows is probably Missy Elliott, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, literally. I couldn't think of anybody.
Nobody else, not really. I think Lady Gaga produces a little bit. Well, I think she does produce or has a complete, like at least huge control over her music. But for the most part, yeah, you don't hear about us a lot. I think there needs to be. I think that there are a lot of us. It's just that you don't hear about us, or we're just not to the point where
What do you think people can do to be able to like bring more awareness to female producers?
It's just gonna take more of us just kind of getting out there and just knocking down those walls. And I'm hoping that as an artist, I definitely believe that it'll be Sugar Joiko that brings the joy producer to light. Like it's gonna like basically the singer is gonna probably bring that to light. And however I can use my platform to give more women shine, that like, hey, there needs to be more of us. I also do some engineering. I'm a sound engineer as well, and there's a lot of women that do sound engineering. Well, we're actually coming out in that. So there's a lot of girls that I'm seeing, even at I think Stereo Live. No, not Stereo Live. Secret Group. And I think Warehouse Live, there's a couple like girl engineers. I'm like, yes.
Okay.
So the engineers are starting to come. So, but definitely there needs to be more of us, and we need a little bit more love because we are out there.
Yeah, and I mean, females work just as hard as the guys. They just need to get the recognition. So, whenever you're putting together this album that I was listening to, Motionless.
Yeah.
I listened to it and it's great.
Thank you.
All the way through.
Thank you.
Take me through the process of actually putting that together. And
let's see, Motionless. The funny thing about it is before, like I said, every year I'm kind of evolving, and originally Sugar Joiko started out as an EDM artist.
Okay.
So Motionless was a track that I sang lyrics for this producer in Europe. I think it was Vox. I think they pronounce it Vox. It's Vous, Vox Records. It's in Europe. And, they were looking for like a pop sound, and I give them that pop sound, and they're like, oh, it's too pop. So basically the label didn't take it. So I was like, well, screw this. I'm going to produce my own track, and then I'm going to keep my song. I'm going to keep my lyrics. So so that's how Motionless, the song, came to play. Camera, who else? Camera. Probably 2 or 3 songs on the album had actually just kind of been in my archives for 3 or 4 years. There's some, like, as a producer, producers get this all the time. Like, you produce hundreds of songs. Yeah. And some of them will be your favorites, but they're just not finished. And sometimes you can come back next month and finish it. Sometimes you can come back 3 years later and finish it. So some of the, like, I don't think the album, like, I, like, sat there like, these are the 9 songs I'm going to make, and I'm going to make these 9 songs to go. Like, some of them were older songs that I was able to finish, and I felt that it fit the the vibe of the album. So when albums come together, I can't say that there's ever really a game plan for me. It's just kind of like whatever sounds good and whatever makes the album feel complete is what I choose to put on there.
So I'm just kind of curious. You said you started out as an EDM producer. Do you produce for other artists, or?
I haven't yet, but I am. I'm actually working on so this year I've released 3 singles, 3 music videos, and the rest of the year I've kind of been a little quiet. But it's because I'm actually going to be launching my music production company pretty soon.
Okay.
And I will start hopefully working with artists, not hopefully, but I would love to work with artists and sell beats to artists, especially in Houston. I think there's a lot of talented pop artists here, but, agree to disagree. But I feel like the Houston scene is not great for like radio-ready competitive pop music.
Okay.
And a lot of us, myself included, before I kind of had the confidence to trust my sound and my tone and my music and what I create, because, we all fall prey to like, this is what the radio sounds like. I need to sound like that. I need to be mainstream. But if you're trying to sound like anything today, you're already too late. So that taught me something too. But before, when I was, buying tracks from other people, I had to go to New York, I had to go to California, where they're extremely expensive. But if you want pop, those are the cities that you want to go to. And in Houston, I'll be honest, I think the pop music here, production is not all that great. I hope to be that person.
Why do you think that this pop in Houston is not?
Either I haven't found it yet, or they're not, where they need to be. Like, I'm a work in progress too.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of Houston that don't even know who I am. But Houston, most cities kind of thrive in certain genres. You go to New Orleans, you're gonna hear bounce music. In Houston here, you'll hear like trap, or you'll hear, like, what do you call it? Chop and Screwed is not as popular, but I feel like Houston definitely caters to hip hop, folk music, rock, or country. So there's not really like a pop community here in Houston, which has also been something that's kind of, I guess, been an obstacle in my career, because many venues and certain artists are not willing to take chances on like a pop act. Like, oh, well, you're a black girl, but you do like EDM pop. Like who does that? Like, nah, that's not what we're looking for. And it's kind of like, no, it's not what you're not looking for, it's what you're not willing to try. And there's like 2,000 people moving to Houston every month. Like, pop could really thrive here. It's just that Houston's kind of like, well, we've been doing hip hop and we've been doing rock and country forever, so we're just going to stick to what works.
Yeah.
And I don't just say this. There's a lot of artists that say this. There's a lot of like executive people in the industry that say that Houston's entertainment industry could really thrive, but I don't want to call it lazy. I'm not trying to hate on everybody, but
I feel like it's at a standstill and nobody wants to like progress.
Nobody wants to work.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to do their job. Like, there's been times I've done, shows or worked with people, and it's like, all right, I'm here, 7:45, let's get work done. And they're like, either not, they're lagging, or like, I just felt like there's a lot of times where people aren't really putting in the same amount of time and energy and effort into things that should be, be done. So I hope that, once I launch my my company website, that I can, help other artists that need affordable tracks, or other artists that are looking for that competitive pop or like a different sound that they can like, get some light or get some exposure with.
Okay. So what is actually the company that you're creating and the production?
It's called Joiko Productions.
Okay.
So right now I'm just kind of building my archives at the moment, but should be launching probably early spring. I'm pretty much got my contracts and everything together. So it's been a process. I've been working all fall on it, really. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm really excited.
So, you're going to be producing for people here. What... The pop, genre in Houston, I don't hear a lot of artists. Even, doing the show, I try to discover as many artists as I can. Mm-hmm. And I don't come across pop artists, like you said, as much as I do like a hip hop artist or something.
I don't know why that is. That's really who I'm going to be seeking out.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, the pop artists that I have heard, like they're immensely talented. But then when I hear the track that's under them, the mastering sucks, the mixing is not great, and it's kind of like that's probably why we don't hear more of them, because they're just not getting the quality work that they deserve. You know, or you know, like if you go to LA and New York for tracks, like they're gonna charge you. They're gonna charge you high. Like if I could move to LA and already charge like probably $500 more than what I could charge here in Houston, and it'd be the same basic ass shit. Stuff.
You can say whatever you want.
Thanks. So yeah, but that's my opinion, my experience. I can't talk for everybody. I don't know every pop artist in Houston, but they do exist. I've met a lot of them, and normally when I hear their tracks, I'm kind of like, you know, you've got something, you're creative, but like this track that's under you is just not giving you, you know, the shine that you deserve. It's not competitive, or it's outdated a lot. That's specifically it. A lot of the pop artists, their tracks are outdated. Okay. And if it's outdated, the industry's not going to pay attention to you. Mm-mm.
Do you think it's, you know, since Houston is so hip hop based, do you think a lot of people just don't know how to mix and master
that too?
Something so complex as a pop song? Because I know yours has a lot of layers to it. You have a lot of, you know, instrument work, and you have a lot of vocals. And do you think people just don't know how to do it, or?
I would say that, yeah. I mean, I didn't know how to do it a few years ago. Like you said, I have a lot of layers in my music, but I'm actually learning that too many layers is also something that makes the mixing and mastering process difficult. So it's like I'm learning how sometimes be a little bit more simple to let the vocals kind of shine more, you know? But yeah, 100%. And then a lot of things too is that just because you're the producer doesn't mean that you are the mixing and the mastering engineer. Yeah. Sometimes you need a mixing engineer and a mastering engineer for the best project, you know, and all of that costs money, you know what I mean? And, you know, you'll probably end up spending thousands of dollars on just the mix master process alone from somebody that's legit, plus the track, and then maybe sell, 300 units on iTunes? Like, it's a very hard to turn over your investment in this industry. So for some people, I feel like the investment process is what makes it hard too. Yeah. So
I feel like a lot of people get into, you know, the idea that they want to do music and they want to do either pop or hip hop, but they don't realize all the stuff that comes on the back end of it.
Research. Nobody researches anymore. Like nobody researches, which is really sad. If people research, they would really.
And everything's so available.
Yeah.
Information is so like available to everybody.
It's so available, and people still giving out CDs on the street. And when people give me CDs, I'm like, dog, like this is so behind the times. Like CDs for getting your music out there is so outdated that literally no one in the industry will take you seriously. Yeah, here's my CD, dog.
Here's my mixtape, or you know, anything.
Yeah, you're already. If you're like, you do better just putting your mixtape on Reverb Nation or like SoundCloud. Like people want a link, they want it easy to access. Like if I can't pull it up on my phone in 15 seconds, you've lost them. So for me, the biggest learning curve has been on how to like capture attention as soon as possible, as easy as possible, and whatever I capture their attention with needs to be as memorable as possible. And if people aim for that, then I think that they'll be a lot more successful in getting their music out.
This, you know, nowadays is so. Everything's so digital. Is that something that you're having to, you know, adapt to, or because you've been doing music for so long, so you've seen, you know, the growth of where things like have
digital in producing or digital in receiving music?
Receiving music.
It doesn't really hurt as much. If anything, I think it helps upcoming artists, because if your song goes viral, you are in direct competition with Drake, Beyonce. Like you are in direct competition with them.
That's
if you
true.
can
I've
get
never
a
thought
song
of
that goes viral, if you can even get on the top 100 Billboards chart, you are directly in competition with people that are established. Now, the only issue with that is that, I mean, some people can go viral. Going viral is like winning the lottery, or you put that much money into it. So if you can invest in your song, like the only reason why they're up at the top, like it's not a unknown thing, but labels, they'll like buy their own songs enough times to put it in the top 10, and then once people see it, then we do the rest, because okay, it's popular, we want to be in the now. So I'm downloading Katy Perry's newest song, and now Katy Perry is #1 on the charts. So that's the only thing that I feel like digitally is like a huge disadvantage. But as far as getting your music heard, I think that it helps a lot. I mean, it saves a lot of money. It's so much cheaper to post online than it is to make 500 CDs. Like even if it's just buying CDs from Walmart and just burning them. It's still way cheaper than doing it like the cheapest way of putting material on a CD and writing on it. Like there's no easier way you can get music out other than now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. With the last, project that you put out, Motionless, you seem very hands-on. You say you produce a lot of it. You produce everything. You're very hands-on, but are you hands-on with the music videos that you put out this year?
I produce my music videos as well.
Okay.
So, I'll hire a videographer and I'll hire like an assistant director on set and I'll have, a team put together. But as far as like what events occur in the video, the locations, the venues, I sponsor everything that I do and I produce all of my visual work as well.
How is that, compared to actually doing the music is, finding the locations, coming out with the idea and the concept for the video?
It all starts with the song, like how the song makes me feel. And then I kind of, the best thing any entertainer or musician or artist can do is just like stay close to your imagination. And as long as your imagination is healthy, I think that, it makes the process fun. And then you can kind of, bring your imagination into reality with a project that you can be proud of.
Like even with the song that you have, I believe it's Freak Bitch.
Hey.
How was it going, to do the music video for that one?
The music, I think it came out great. Still not 100% my vision, but I think it came out great. I don't know. I at the end of the day, it's all research. Like I take the time to go out there and look for stuff, or I just kind of keep my eyes open. Like I can be in this room here and be like, you know what, this looks like a great scene for, you know what I mean? So I just kind of like keep my eyes open because I feel like anywhere you go is a set.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you can use it, where, what, and how, But the Freak Bitch video, I was kind of going for like, do you know Janet Jackson Pleasure Principle video?
Okay.
I was kind of aiming for something like that. It was an office space, but just the fact that I'm just like having fun dancing around and in this abandoned place that nobody's here and it's just my domain to just do my thing, I guess.
And then you also have the one with I don't, the name's not coming to me. Oh, the one with Tequila.
Oh, How I Roll with the cars?
Yes, with the cars.
Yeah.
How was that one? Because I know I talked to him whenever he was gonna be working on that one. He was telling me about the cars and everything that's going on.
Yeah.
How was that one put in together?
Dude, that was probably one of the best experiences of my life. So like in addition to being a gamer, also I'm like kind of a car enthusiast. So like Fast and the Furious was like my shit.
Oh yeah.
So it was so dope to have like a bunch of like souped up cars in the area. So like they kept having like, Joy, come on, we're on set. Cause I'm just like, oh, it's a Supra. Oh my God, a Skyline. Like, so I'm just like flipping out. Like everyone, they had like really dope cars. So like it was phenomenal. Like that was a super dope video and it was like almost a dream come true. So it was a dope experience. And the song's called How I Roll, but I like how it was tied in like with the cars, like how I roll,
That was that one seemed like it was a lot of work behind the scenes on that one. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of cars there. I liked,
Yeah, I think how many cars came out? I don't know. Were you there? I don't know. There was a lot of cars that came out. At least 30, 34, 35. Like there was a lot of cars. Like enough to where two different scenes were a totally different set of
and
cars.
Was that you that brought everybody, together out there?
Yeah, I posted a little, just kind of like, getting the word out and started with Facebook. Like there's so many tools that are disposable that we don't use. And, I just kind of like reached out a bunch of car drivers. I reached out to a bunch of dancers, like street dancers. And, I wrote like a small little 2-paragraph plot of what the video is around. And people thought it was dope and came out. So it was pretty dope.
We spoke a little bit on the state of pop music here in Houston. Mm-hmm. What do you think of pop music as a whole, as as a genre?
I feel like pop, they say that hip hop is the #1 selling genre of the world. I can believe that, but I really think it's pop because pop is so broad. Anything could be pop. I don't know. I think pop is all around the world. Pop ain't going nowhere. Everybody loves a good beat to dance. Like I like to dance, so I'll do pop and dance music over ballads any day. But yeah, I think pop is fine. I think pop is definitely like just worldly known.
Yeah, and even across seas and stuff, there's the J-pop, there's the K-pop, and those are huge. Those are like those have like mega fans, and I've seen, live performances where they're selling out, more than what, like,
with like 13 singers on the stage and all of them getting paid.
Those are productions. Those are,
Yeah.
Do you ever plan on trying to, get that big? Like, imagine
Of course, I would love to. I mean, my goal is to just travel the world and perform and have all bills made and just live a happy life. So, I mean, if I get to that point, great. But just to be able to travel to an arena would be ideal.
Because those are crazy. That's bigger than like what NRG can hold and what.
100%.
Those are.
100%.
Those are entertaining. I like watching them just for the crowd.
Colors.
Yes.
J-pop used to be huge, but now K-pop, I feel like K-pop is probably just dominating the world.
Yeah.
Dominating the world.
And it has such a big influence here, in the States too. That's crazy, to be able
BTS.
to see. Yeah. That's it's good to see, the pop music and everybody, listening to it from around the world, really.
Yeah, and just more cultures coming here, man. I'm tired of just seeing you know what I'm talking about. We need more people,
Yeah, we need more diversity.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to, mesh together.
Yeah, so I was happy that, the BTS, I'll be honest, I don't listen to them much, but I was really happy that like an Asian group was here and they were like voted. What were they voted? Like #1 boy group?
Yeah, something like that. Like it was,
Grammys, right? I believe so. I think they got like the highest award. And I didn't even know they had fans like that.
Oh yeah.
I ain't even heard of them dudes, but they're like huge.
And it's crazy, you don't, like you said, you've never heard of them. I've never listened to them, but I know who they are. But I mean, apparently a lot of people like them.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
So I want to talk to you about this new album that you're working on. Do you have a name for this one?
Right now, D Killer is saying it should be retrospective. We'll see. We're kind of like playing on it, but this new album will include Your Love, How I Roll, and Freak Bitch on there. But I'm just hoping to it's kind of going to be an infusion of kind of like pop, retro, like synthy stuff. So, I mean, one thing that I hope makes me unique is like I do pop music, but the way that I sing, like still you can hear the soul in my voice. So it's still, you can still feel that soul and that funk kind of vibe to it, but the music will be kind of trancey and like huge into dance. So I'm hoping it'll be like a nice dance album, but some parts of it kind of takes you back to like the 90s, 80s, but kind of in a today kind of way.
I think even, just with the recent songs you've put out, going from like Freak Bitch to How I Roll, they have a lot of, they're different sounds. One's, more piano based and the other one is a lot more, I believe, is like islandy and it is that, kind of the direction the album's going is very broad.
If anything, I believe that the reason why I'm a pop artist is because it gives me the freedom to be broad. You can have an album and everything be pop but sound completely different. And I think that's one of the things that kind of bores me today, and I'm sorry to say it, but a lot of top 40 music is that like you listen to albums and it's like the same song just done in a different key. Like the whole album to me just sounds like the same song over and over, just different keys or different words. And I like that I'm able to like, I can tell like, cause like How I Roll is islandy, but like the da 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 da, like it's more of a, to me, like a Hindi like Bollywood kind of. Okay. And I've actually been on the Hindi station here in Houston, and they love it, and they play that song like so many times because they thought I was actually saying Punjabi in the song. I'm like, no, I'm not. But they were all in there like, da 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 da. So it's kind of like, but at the same time, it's also like really like dance. Like it's not EDM, but it's still very close. So it's like EDM, like not the bongos, the timbales is what makes it islandy. The da 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 da. And then with the Indian kind of melody on top is what makes the song dope. And then Freak Bitch is kind of like, it's pop, but you got the ragtime piano in there. So it's like, I've always just been like in love with like integrating like genres together into something else. And then I just put my soul on top of it vocally.
I think that you being a producer and being so hands-on with everything that you do gives you that diversity to be able to go in different directions. Because I believe like a lot of artists, they're the singers.
Yeah.
So they have somebody produce it, and that might
Then
be
they go from there.
that might be why a lot of them sound the same. But you're very diverse in being able to do, you know, kind of anything that you want, because you're the brains behind it all.
Yep.
That's really dope. So with this album, do you have like, you have these 3? How do you have like a length that you're trying to make it? Because the last one was 9 songs.
No, I'm trying not to put that pressure on myself, to be honest with you. So like right now, as in creating the album, I have about 3 songs that are definitely contenders. I'll definitely be releasing a single maybe in spring. But I haven't really decided how many songs, or, you know.
Okay.
So once I start putting pressure and like due dates on it, it just like, I don't know, gives me anxiety, and then it makes me like, doesn't feel as free in the creative process. So I'm just trying to keep myself just kind of like for the fun of it.
So you don't have a release date right now?
Not right now, but definitely next year.
Okay. 'Cause I can see like what you're going with. Like if you say, oh, it's going to be out in July or something, then right now you would be trying to like
put it all in, you're rushing.
Yeah, and you don't want to be rushed. Okay. So do you have any like you say you want to get into working with more artists? Do you have any on this upcoming album?
Not yet. Some of them, I think there's like one song that I would like to find a rapper, but I want to finish my portion first, and then I'll probably reach out like Instagram or Facebook for an artist that would be like to rap on it. I'd rather put D Killer on there, but I can't have him rap on all my songs.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking for like I'll look for other artists when the time comes for my work. But for now, it's not as many songs yet. I mean, I can't claim it right now, but if the time comes, yes, I'm definitely willing to search out some other artists that would like to work with me. Okay.
Well, whenever that time comes, I will definitely try to send some people your way.
Yeah, please.
Because, you know, I'm definitely still trying to build up and grow as, you know,
we all
getting to know artists in the city.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find your music at right now?
You guys can find me at sugarjoiko.com, SugarJoiko.com. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. My music is available on iTunes, Tidal, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, pretty much anywhere. So if you need a little help, just Google me. Find me on there too. But yeah, Sugar Joiko, SugarJoiko. Hi.
I actually think I kind of forgot, but it's funny that you said YouTube, because you do put a lot of stuff on YouTube, and you do a lot of covers and stuff. And
I'm actually going to get back into that, because I know that the fans really love that. I mean, for the most part, like I said, every year is a new kind of realization, a new lesson, and I kind of evolve as an artist. And this year, another reason why I've kind of been on a break is that, you know, on top of producing, on top of writing, on top of performing, on top of being dueling pianist, I also had a band, and it's just kind of like I just had so much going on that I had ventured away from posting more covers online. Yeah. So I want to actually get back to that. And my whole little swing with that was that I would take songs, produce my own remix of it, but sing the cover on top. And I believe that I've received the bulk of my fans doing it that way. That's actually how I got on the Japanese show in Japan.
Okay.
That I would sing songs in Japanese but produce my own version, and I have like some of my videos like over 300,000 views and comments and all those type of things. So I'm going to be getting back into that, so I'm excited. And a lot of my online productions has actually kind of given me the most praise. Like I've been reposted by Chris Brown.
I saw that whenever you did his
I was just playing around too. I was just kind of like, I had no intention of even posting. I was just kind of like, you know, sometimes I just dick around in the studio and I just want to play on the keys. Yeah. And I sent it to Damien. I was like, I don't know why I decided to record this, like video record this. And I was like, you think I should post it? He's like, yeah, hell yeah, post it. Yeah. You know, so I posted it, and I just did like at Chris Brown. I was like, everybody say at Chris Brown, he might repost it. And then like 3 hours later, he posted it on his Instagram.
I saw that. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. I'm like, me and my mom, we shopping in the hood. We're like, what? So, yeah. And then, you know, Lizzo beating Lizzo?
No,
she's like a new artist. Right? Oh, I love that bitch. She's dope.
I'm going to listen to her. I'll check her out.
Yeah, she's dope. And what I admire about her right now, she's a thick girl and she don't give a fuck. And her music is dope, and I just love that she's just so confident in her size and her sound. And
confidence definitely radiates in music.
Oh, yeah. And she even reposted a video that I did, and she also like messaged me personally that like you are like amazing. So I've been like, he's not popular anymore, but Perez Hilton did an article about a cover that I did. Even Missy Elliott has been in my DMs before.
Okay.
So it's just like, I need to get back into that, because I did reach people. So if I can reach them, then that might, you know, be my token of going viral and being in direct competition. So you never know.
Everything's about going viral.
Yeah. It's your better hope. It's very expensive to do it on the ground.
But yeah, I think I love your covers. I like the one you did of Jadena, the Bambi.
Oh, that was my jam. I wanted him to see that. He's gonna be my future baby daddy, but y'all don't know.
That one was actually a lot different because you didn't play it out. You know, it was all
acapella.
Yeah, all acapella.
Acapella beatboxing. Yeah.
No, people might not know you're a beatboxer right before we start recording. You were out here beatboxing. But yes,
Wherever I can get a beat.
Sugar Joiko, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
I'll put all her links to everything in the description so you can go check her out. Go listen to the music. Motionless is amazing.
Thanks.
Be on the lookout for her new album that's going to be coming out. No date, but next year.
It's coming.
It's coming.
The Lord said, wait.
This episode, once again, is brought to you by Fishscale84 and Reneka at Builders. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay slum.